Breaking news from Major League Baseball, where Shohei Ohtani is signing with the Los Angeles Dodgers. The 29-year-old is coming off his second career MVP award when he led the American League in home runs, slugging percentage, and on-base percentage. He also went 10-5 with a 3.14 ERA across 23 starts. Everybody's been keeping it quiet. Nobody's been able to talk about whether they've met with Shohei or not, although the Dodgers kind of did. But Shohei made the announcement official on Instagram, posting that he is going to LA. And to all Dodgers fans, hey, I pledge to always do what's best for the team and always continue to give it my all to be the best version of myself.
So if you're in the US or you're quite close, you quite closely follow US sports, we've certainly had probably the biggest news story in quite some time, and that's with Shohei Ohtani, the LA Angels, the Major League All-Star, has finally confirmed that where he'll be playing next season, and he will be just moving down the freeway to the Los Angeles Dodgers in what is now the biggest, the most lucrative contract in professional sports history in the US. It surpasses anything the NHL, NFL, NBA has offered. Ohtani has signed a 10-year deal worth $700 million US. And yeah, look, I guess to put it, the point of this video is to sort of explain why this is such a massive deal, not just in the US, but possibly in the scheme of, well, I think particularly with numbers and all that. But yeah, look, it's certainly no other, there hasn't been anything like this in the US. Even when you think about the money, NHL, even the NFL, it will never come close to this. Just with salary cap and all that. With the MLB, of course, they have far more liberties with the free agency, and that's why Dodgers were able to pay Ohtani so much money over 10 years. And as you can see, I'm wearing a Giants cap, so I don't know what to say about this. I mean, I quite like Ohtani I still like Ohtani as a player, even if he is playing for one of our big rivals. I mean, congratulations, at least he's not playing for the Yankees. But look, I thought I'd just explain why this is such a big deal, not just in the US, but possibly in the scheme of professional sports. It's a very interesting move. So look, baseball, of course, as you know, generally, by and large, you have pitchers and you have batters, and it is very, very rare, or even unheard of, to have all-rounders. Okay, there might be a few in the minor leagues, the AAA leagues. I mean, Babe Ruth sort of dealt with a bit of pitching, albeit in the All-Star game. And then, of course, but then that all changed with Shohei Ohtani coming over from Japan to play for the Angels. And yeah, look, some might argue it's not hyperbolic, I guess, to suggest that Ohtani is probably the most revolutionary player ever to come to play in the major leagues. Of course, not only can he pitch and bat, he can pitch and bat equally well. Like some might argue the Angels franchise, hasn't really performed in the last couple of seasons, even with not just, they've got, besides Ohtani, they've got Mike Trout, who some might argue is the best American baseball player right now. But look, yeah, Ohtani was often their best pitcher, particularly last season until he had that elbow injury, which, by the way, as a keynote, because this is relevant later, he's going to need elbow surgery, which will rule him out pitching in the 2024 season. So he's not going to pitch for the LA Dodgers, which, yeah, I guess I want to be. They, of course, don't have Clayton Kershaw. Clayton Kershaw's now a free agent. He's had surgery, so we'll be interested to see what happens there. But look, I guess the point is Ohtani was amazing with the ball, and then of course amazing with the bat. He's hit plenty of home runs for the Angels, really gave the Angels a shot at the playoffs. And look, I guess last season, of course, the Angels pretty much chucked everything in just to get Ohtani, just so that Ohtani could actually get into the playoffs with the Angels. And of course, now that it hasn't happened, Ohtani's a free agent, and now they've kind of had to let him go, So look, it is revolutionary. I think we could very well see, Ohtani's probably going to be first of many all-rounders that we might see in the future, simply because, there'll be heaps of kids across America, the Central America, Japan, Korea, Taiwan, People's Republic of China, I should say, who are, who'd say, I want to be the next Ohtani. So it's a big move. Look, I guess, you might say, with cricket, I guess for cricket, there's so many all-rounders. I think pretty much every player you can count as an all-rounder. Your wicket-keeper batsman counts as an all-rounder. Brendan McCullum could bowl. So what's the big deal? Some might say, that's baseball's less of the big to cricket. But I guess on the other hand, if you look at baseball, there's no such, you can't pitch slow arm orthodox, that sort of thing. And batting and serious hitting a home run in baseball is a lot more impressive than hitting a six in cricket, because the surface of the bats are, you've got a much wider bat for cricket. You've got more variation to, all sorts of balls. It's easier to compensate, whereas baseball, it's pretty much one and done. So in my opinion, I think that's where the skill level is. But look, I guess, cricket, you've had some great all-rounders, Syrian Botham, I guess, but I think Shohei's stature probably compares maybe to Amelia Kerr of New Zealand. Sorry, look, I'm going to put a New Zealand bias there, because I think Amelia Kerr has kind of sort of revolutionized the game a little bit. And not just at age, she's able to bowl really effectively and bat really effectively. I don't think there have been too many women's cricketers like that. Or, and men's, of course, you could talk about Ian Botham, Ben Stokes, Imran Khan, and they've been able to bowl fast. But I guess from Shohei, in terms of causing a revolution, I think maybe the men, you might think Sir Garfield Sobers was probably it. So I guess Sir Garfield Sobers probably get $700 million if he was around today playing cricket. Of course, that's probably why a lot of West Indies cricketers have gone and played gone over the US. Look, it is a lot of money, 700 million. It dwarfs anything you can think of, you think of your footballers and their pick, I guess. So it's 700 million over 10 seasons, which is going to be 70 million. And then, of course, we're factoring endorsements, sponsorships, bonuses if the Dodgers get to the, the championship game, the World Series. So it is a lot, it is. He easily passes any NBA player, NFL player certainly, and of course you're talking European football. Ronaldo is not even I think Ronaldo and Mbappe, they're on $1 million a year. I think their salaries don't even, it barely doesn't even touch the 5% of Shohei Ohtani's salary. So. American sport has always been able to pay big salaries, certainly in the MLB. I guess. The other thing, of course, look, I guess, and that's, I've mentioned MLB, of course, they have, they have free agents, they don't have limits on how much you can spend. But yeah, look, certainly NFL. Yes, you've seen Matthew Stafford going from the Detroit Lions to the Rams. Brady going from the Patriots to the Bucks. The Brady case, that was really a case like the Patriot. He'd already played for about 20 years at the Patriots, and he showed his best. He was kind of this was like sort of on the autumn of his career. Stafford, you could argue, it's a bit of the same. He gave 10 years to the Lions, but I think Ohtani, on the hand, he's 29, and I think most Major League Baseballers can go up to their 40s if they stay fit. And I think Ohtani certainly is one of those players could play well into his early 40s. He's pretty much in his prime. And yeah, honestly, in my opinion, having seen Ohtani play regularly, I think 700 million is a bit too low for him. That's just controversial, but I think given that, he is we've not had a player like this who defines the game since probably Babe Ruth. You could argue he's probably worth a whole lot more than that, like $1 billion is not far-fetched. Of course, I think 700 million is still insane and it's probably what they're going to pay, but, the LA Dodgers they are one of the big franchises in Major League Baseball. I think they could easily afford to pay him $1 billion. Otherwise, the Yankees will step in and nab him. So that's explaining the Shohei Ohtani trade for non-American sports fans, and particularly New Zealand, Australia, bringing up cricket. What are your thoughts on this Shohei Ohtani trade? Is it how does this compare with other, like AFL, NRL trades? I mean, nothing's ever going to compare to this. Even football's not soccer, nothing's ever compared to this deal. This is, I mean, it is not hyperbolic to say that this is this is probably the biggest deal in the world, in professional sports globally. So if you like this video, feel free to like, and don't forget to subscribe. And also, one more question: is Ohtani the final key to the Dodgers starting their dynasty? Can he save Dave Roberts' job? I'd like to hear your thoughts.